Yo, we just came out of MetLife. In fact, the car is facing MetLife, but I'm not going to turn the camera around. First things first, unfortunately, nobody won the giveaway. That video is going to be out probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I got a lot of footage to edit for that one. We had one person that came really close. They answered 4 questions correctly, but other than that, most people only answered 3, and then that was it. I'm deciding maybe I'll keep this for later on, either next season or, you know, hopefully we somehow still get in the playoffs and have a home playoff game. Maybe I'll do it then. But let's talk about today, yo. Injuries, undisciplined football, bad coaching in like a good amount of the game. Ref ball, yeah, thank you. The refs definitely had some really bad calls this game. And turnovers absolutely killed us. Adoree went down basically after the first punt return. And everybody, like every Giants fan that I know, was questioning why did we move Adoree to punt returner after Richie James had his game in Seattle. Like, put anybody back there, please. Just put somebody back there that can catch and then kneel down. There's no need to risk your number 1 corner, especially in a season where we're down starting linebackers, we're down other starting corners, we're down starting edge rushers. Like, the defense is heavily injured. You risk that man getting injured and bam, he goes out. And next thing you know, our secondary is Swiss cheese. And then bam, later on in the game, Fabian Moreau goes out. So now we legitimately, I'm not even exaggerating, with like the exception of Darnay Holmes, who's been really hit or miss in his career, we have like legit practice squad players out there, man. Nick McLeod. Nick McLeod was out here. You expect, nah, we're not beating Amon-Ra St. Brown with Nick McLeod. You know, and then on the offensive side of the ball, Wan'Dale Robinson went down, and he was the first Giant this season to have a 100-yard receiving game. Wan'Dale goes down. The interior of the offensive line, extremely sloppy this game. I think we started off with Shane Lemieux, and then we ended up putting Josh Zudu back in there. I think Nick Gates might have been in at center at one point. But the interior of the offensive line was really, really bad today, yo. It seemed like every time Daniel took the snap and took a couple steps back, there was like 3 dudes in his face. He was getting pressured all day. He had a lot of quarterback hits on him. And then even with that, he still had his mistakes. Like, let's not act as if he didn't have 2 interceptions. Those turnovers really killed us. And it's crazy because he started off the game good. Those first, I want to say the first 1 or 2 drives, he was cutting it up. There was a reason he had 176 at the half. You know what I mean? And then there was also the Isaiah Hodgins fumble later on in the game, which at first, the way I reacted to it, I thought it wasn't a fumble, but we don't have instant replay like that at the stadium. You know, it takes a little bit longer. After the replay showed it, yeah, he did the football move and then it came out of his hand, so it was a fumble. But regardless, the refs, they missed false start on Detroit. They missed delay of game on Detroit. They missed a lot of holding calls on the Detroit offensive line and the Detroit defensive line. Missed a horse collar tackle. Like, I'm not one to call on refs, especially when the team has made a lot of mistakes itself. Like, offensive play calling once again was questionable from Mike Kafka. Like I said, the offensive line, Daniel Jones, like the offense as usual is in shambles, and we really have nobody at receiver. Like, all we have now is Kenny Golladay, who is like, we know what he is at this point, and Darius Slayton, who's come on in the past couple of games, but that's it. We got like Richie James, Marcus Johnson. I don't know what happens to David Sills after the first 4 weeks. And then, dog, the defense is just, I think the defense, because Xavier is out, it's saying that Adoree might be out 5 weeks, which is basically the rest of the season. You know, when you look at our schedule, I don't want to sound like too in the moment. I don't want to sound like I'm overreacting. But if you legitimately look at this schedule, and the fact that we have Dallas in 4 days, 4 days, and Dallas is a really good football team. We can all acknowledge that. And Dallas has a really good defense. Yo, they can legitimately shut us down for the entire game, and then our injured defense, I don't know if we could do anything to stop their offense. Like, we might walk into Thanksgiving in Jerry World, and it's not gonna be sweet. Like, it might be a blowout, yo. And then all of a sudden we're 7-4. And then who do we have after Dallas? Yo, can somebody look up the Giants schedule real quick? I don't know it by my head. Who do we have after Dallas? But we have like 5 divisional games, yo. It's being pulled up right now, yo. 5 divisional games. And I'm not saying this because our team is bad. I'm saying this.
And Eagles.
So after the Dallas, We got the Commanders, who I think beat the Texans today. They might have blew out the Texans. They look good. Their defense has been playing on point. The Eagles, like, yo, we got to face reality. It's not because the team is bad, and it's not even because of one loss. I said this when we lost against the Seahawks, but I've also said this during wins. Like, injuries are going to catch up with us. It looks like injuries might be catching up. And the undisciplined football is still there. And there's a legitimate lack of talent. But people take that as a bad thing. I take it as a good thing. The fact that this is a team with a lot of injuries, a lot of lack of talent, and undisciplined football has won 7 games and is overperforming is a good thing for me. That means we're going to be really, really incredible when all those things are fixed. You know what I mean? There is a little bit of a bright side to this, but this was a terrible game, yeah. This was a terrible game. Not gonna lie to y'all, it's gonna be tough. Of course, I'm hoping we beat Dallas on Thanksgiving, but we'll see what happens the rest of the season. It's gonna be really tough. Several media outlets, CBS, Fox, all the main ones, they've already put out there that the Giants have the toughest remaining schedule in the NFL. We have the toughest remaining schedule in the NFL as one of the most injured teams in the NFL, and there's clearly, you know, lack of talent in some places. So we'll see what happens. Put your thoughts down below. Let me know what you all think. That's it for now. I'm out.